Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for another review. This is another album review I got a chance to check out, and I'm sorry that my videos have been cutting out a lot. It's just my laptop is a little messed up with the audio quality. So this is for another album review for Post Malone's newest album, Austin, that I just got a chance to check out and listen to. And I'm going to let you know what I thought of all 17 songs I listened to. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this new album of his. I think this is his fifth album, if I'm being honest. And let you know my thoughts on his new album. So let's dive into this album review of his, Post Malone Austin. Now basically with what I listened to with this album, I'm kind of disappointed with it. It's not a good album. Don't understand. I just don't really like his vocals in it. It just sounds so whiny and cringy. Like his voice cracks a lot with how he's doing the falsetto. It just doesn't really sound good, to be honest. I mean, the song is average. I will give it that because of the acoustic work and all that, but honestly, don't understand. It's not my favorite song to start the album. 3.5 out of 5. Average track, but has its problems. Then comes Something Real, and that's just It's okay. It's a little weaker than the last song. Quite a bit weaker. It was almost bad. It's just not feeling for how the song is sounding, mixing wise, and just Post Malone's vocals just kind of get slightly boring with how he's singing it. So 3 out of 5. Chemical was just not really feeling for it either. It's another 3 out of 5 for me. I just don't really feel for this track. I think it's okay, but not a great first 3 songs, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm just a little bored with it a bit. Nova Candy has a boring start to it, and then it picks up a bit, but it keeps the track at an okay level, meaning the song is just in the middle with me. 3 out of 5 for this one. Morning is not really much of a track. It's like 2.5 minutes, but kind of boring, too. There's a lot of boring tracks for this album, and I thought this was supposed to be a rock album. Guess I was wrong. It's just boring, to be honest. So 3 out of 5 for Morning. Too Cool to Die is okay too. I just think some of the upbeat melody kind of is interesting, but it's just the execution with the lyrics. Just there's some lyrics on this album that kind of just don't connect with me in a good way. It just makes me cringe at it. But other than that, song's okay, 3 out of 5. Sign Me Up is okay, not really caring for it too much. I'm just like in the middle, like I said. With most of almost the first half of this album is okay and slightly boring. So, but it does get a little bit worse. So 3 out of 5 for Sign Me Up. I think it's okay, just not really crazy for it. Socialite is okay. I'm just in the middle, like I said. Just not really feeling for this track. 3 out of 5. Overdrive is disappointing. I just think the vocals from Post Malone just don't sound very good. In my honest opinion, they sound too auto-tuned and just in the middle and pretty bad. So 2.5 out of 5 for this one. I was disappointed with this track. Speedometer is just it's just boring and disappointing. So another 2.5 out of 5 for this one. I'm just not connecting with it. Then comes Hold My Breath. That's another disappointing track. Another 2.5 out of 5. I'm just not really on board with this song, with how it's sounding execution wise, and just the mixing is kind of awful, and Post Malone's singing just doesn't really interest me. Enough is okay. This is where it gets a little bit better, but not great better. So another 3 out of 5. I think the melody's fine, but Post Malone's singing is not really something to be excited for, in my honest opinion. Texas T just had some cringy vocals from Post Malone in this one. I was really disappointed with this track, with how it sounded overall, and I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. I'm just a little disappointed with this track, to be honest. Buyer Beware is okay. Not really interested in it too much. Just honestly, this album is very boring for a almost 52-minute album. You're not in for a lot of good songs, to be honest. They're just filler tracks and quite boring too. So 3 out of 5 for Buyer Beware. I think vocally Post Malone sounds okay, but the mixing is my problem with it. Landmine, just okay, not connecting with it too much. It's okay to slightly disappointing, so 3 out of 5 this one. I mean, some of Post Malone's cringy vocals kind of come in, and they don't sound very good. Green Thumb is the second to last song for this album, and it's disappointing. Just bored with this song, to be honest. It's a head shaker, so 2.5 out of 5. And finally, we get to the last song, Laugh It Off. I think it's an average song to end the album. So another one of the slightly stronger tracks, like Don't Understand, but it's not great. It's just in the middle and kind of average. So 3.5 out of 5. So overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Post Malone's new album, Austin, was disappointing. I'm not really a fan of this album, to be honest. I was really bummed out with this album. The last album was interesting. It was an average album. I wouldn't say it was great in any way, but there was something with the flow of the album that was keeping me hooked to the album. For the Toothache, 12 Karat Toothache album, I think it was called, that one was average because it took a little time to that album to grow on me. When say every song was great, but it was a little better than this. This is not even a good effort from Post Malone. This is just boring. So for an overall score for me, I'm giving Post Malone Austin a 5.5 out of 10. Just not feeling for this album. I'm very disappointed, and I just don't really care for the songs, to be honest. So 5.5 out of 10 for Post Malone Austin. Thank you guys for watching.